In the heart of a crowded city, surrounded by noise, chaos, and rushing footsteps, sat a man the world no longer noticed. His clothes were torn, his hair tangled, his hands trembling from cold and hunger. To everyone else, he was invisible. Just another beggar on the street. Just another forgotten soul. But if only they knew, this man hadn't always been this way. He wasn't born into poverty. He wasn't born into darkness. Life choices and most of all his mindset brought him here. This is the story of Josh, a man who discovered one truth powerful enough to rewrite his entire destiny. Change your mindset, and your whole world begins to shift. Years ago, Josh believed he was unlucky, born to struggle, born to suffer. Whenever something went wrong, he would whisper to himself, "Of course. Why would anything good happen to me?" And slowly, his words became truths. Small failures became big ones. Minor setbacks became life-ending catastrophes. And every time he fell, he told himself it was pointless to get back up. He lost his job. He lost his home. He lost every friend who once tried to help. Not because he was incapable, but because he had convinced himself he was. When the mind collapses, life soon follows. One cold morning, as Josh sat with an empty cup and a heavier heart, a young boy approached him. Not with money, not with pity, but with a question. The boy looked him directly in the eyes and said, "Mister, why are you sitting here like you already lost?" Josh blinked. Lost. He had never heard it phrased that way. The boy continued, "My dad says losing only becomes real when you stop trying. Are you still trying?" Before Josh could answer, the boy's mother called him. He ran off, leaving those words echoing in Josh's mind. When you stop trying. That night, Josh couldn't sleep. Not because of hunger, but because, for the first time in years, someone had challenged the identity he had accepted. Josh stared at his reflection. He barely recognized the person staring back. He whispered, "Is this really me?" And for the first time, he didn't say it in despair. He said it in disbelief, in curiosity, in possibility. What if he had been wrong about himself? What if the prison wasn't the world around him, but the one inside his mind? He remembered something his father once told him long ago. Your thoughts build your future, brick by brick. Josh took a deep breath, and he made a decision. A small one, simple, almost insignificant. Tomorrow, he would try. Not succeed, not transform. Just try. Sometimes one small shift is all it takes. The next morning, Josh stood up a little straighter. He walked with a bit more purpose. He found a public bathroom, cleaned himself as best he could, and looked in the mirror. He told himself, "I may be broken, but I'm not done." And that sentence, that single sentence, became a spark. Josh spent the next few days doing things he hadn't done in years. He read newspapers left behind in cafes. He watched people not with envy, but with curiosity. He studied job boards outside stores, even though part of him whispered he wasn't ready. But the whisper grew quieter each day. Change doesn't begin with new results. It begins with new thoughts. One afternoon, Josh swallowed his fear and approached a small workshop where an elderly man repaired clocks. He asked for work, not money, not pity, just a chance. The old man looked at Josh carefully. Then he said something unexpected. "I've watched you walk by my shop for months. Today, you walked differently." "What changed?" Josh hesitated, then replied, "I changed my mind." The man smiled. "You start tomorrow." And with that, Josh had a job. Not a glamorous one, not a stable one, but a beginning. Josh worked harder than he ever had. He arrived early, left late, took notes, learned it quickly. Every day, his mindset strengthened. He stopped saying, "I can't," and began saying, "I'll figure it out." He stopped thinking about what he lost and began focusing on what he was building. His transformation wasn't sudden. It wasn't cinematic. It was slow, silent, steady. But growth always begins quietly. Within a few months, Josh saved enough money to rent a tiny room. The first key he held in years. The first night he slept in a real bed. He didn't cry because he was sad. He cried because he finally felt hope. With a new mindset, Josh started seeing the world differently. Where he once saw obstacles, he now saw opportunities. Where he saw closed doors, he saw new paths. Where he saw fear, he saw challenges to overcome. He took online classes at night, learned skills he never believed he could master, started fixing small electronics, then appliances, then custom work. People began to trust him, recommend him, seek him out. His world, once gray and suffocating, was slowly expanding. A year later, Josh opened his own repair shop, a tiny space with secondhand tools, peeling paint, and an old wooden sign. But to him, it was a palace, because it wasn't built from luck. It wasn't built from charity. It was built from a rebuilt mind. Customers came. Business grew. Josh hired others who struggled like he once did, people the world overlooked. He taught them what he learned. Not just how to repair, but how to believe. One sunny afternoon, Josh saw a familiar face. The same little boy, now older, standing in front of his shop. He smiled at Josh and said, "Hey, I remember you. You were the man sitting on the street." Josh chuckled softly. "Yes, I was." The boy tilted his head. "What happened? You look different." Josh knelt down so they were eye to eye. "I changed my mind," he said. "And when I did, everything else changed with it." The boy grinned. "That's what my dad always says." Josh smiled back. Then listen to him. He's right. Josh's story is not fantasy. It's not magic. It's a truth many forget. Your mind is the birthplace of your destiny. Your beliefs shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. Your habits shape your future. If you tell yourself you're broken, you remain broken. If you tell yourself you're trapped, your cage tightens. But if you dare to whisper something new, something hopeful, something powerful, then the world around you begins to shift. You don't need to change everything today. You only need to change one thing: the story you tell yourself. Because once your mindset changes, you change your decisions. You change your behavior. You change your path. And eventually, you change your world. So if you feel lost, if you feel stuck, if life seems heavy and unmovable, remember Josh. Remember his fall. Remember his rise. You are one thought away from a new beginning. One decision away from a new direction. One mindset shift away from a new world. Change your mindset, and your whole world begins to shift. Subscribe for the next amazing story.